Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Admiral Pexis, and on today's show we're going to be talking about this thing. We're just going to give it a quick overview, but we're mostly going to be talking about the mirror universe in G5. Which one is better? Is it grinding or mining? Now, as usual, I will be backing up my statements with actual numbers and not just pretty much screenshots. We're going to do this live, and obviously I'll chop out all the boring bits when grinding and mining, so you don't have to sit through 24 minutes of grinding or mining and me rabbit on for no reason. So basically, a quick review is the last video I did on this was based on the G4. Let me just check my notes. And we showed you about the research, and we showed you the difference between mining and grinding, which one was actually far more efficient. It was actually worked out to be the grinding was far more efficient, and that was because of the research involved when it comes to the mirror universe. Now, as you can see, I have a Nova now, so it basically means that I can actually mine a little bit faster. We will show you some of the differences between mining with a Nova in comparison to the G4 miner, which, as you can see at the minute, I've got them out mining somewhat chronic because we have the bonus refinery. Woohoo! So now, if we jump into our base and go straight for the R&D, what I can show you is the research and where my research currently stands at now when it comes to mining. So now I will just say that there is one piece of research as well which can affect the grinding side of things, which I've not actually been focused on, but that's my fault really. So here we go, common survey Trellium Mining, and as you can see, I'm already at level 6 out of 9, and obviously the next level for me is 61 before I can do anything. But when you're in G4, basically you are stuck here on level 3 at 6,000%. So basically you're not really going to be mining so much. Hence the reason why it was far more efficient to actually do the grinding. But as you can see now at level 6, this is literally with me going to Ops 52. I've maxed this out to where I can. As you saw, it takes, if we just go back here, Ops level 61, so that's next time I can do it. But I'm already now a 50,000% boost when it comes to mining. Okay, not particularly too bad. Now, obviously, you've got this one, which is going to affect your grinding side of things. Like I said, I've not really worked on this one as far as where you can actually max this out at 52. So I think there are some players who have maxed this out in the early G5. But that's going to give you a whopping 400% increase. Sorry, spoiler alert. Not that much. And I will just say, but like I said, we're going to back these up with numbers. I'm going to say straight out, mining looks to be the best way to go around this. But the one thing is, I don't want you to stop just there. Right? I am going to prove this with numbers, but I'm also going to show you 2 different mining crews and which one is actually far more better. I'm trying to think of the correct way of putting it, is better to actually use. And to be honest, this came as a bit of a shock to me really, because you think one would actually be better than the other. But again, this is something we will show in today's video. So as you can see, obviously I've still got a fair bit to actually get done myself. I've not really focused that much. I do the little that I can. Now I'm just going to quickly show you the refinery that I'm currently at for the mirror universe. So obviously I've got the Trellium A here. I'll add in the chest costs in editing, because obviously I can take a screenshot in the following morning. Yes, I am recording this on the PC. I'll be transferring it over to my phone so I can edit it on there with easy effect. But here's the cost for the Trellium D, because we will quickly look at the Trellium D side of things as well. But here you go, so 42,000 raw Trellium D you're going to need for a single chest, or you can take it 165. But that is because mine is now tier 4. If we go back to that research just quickly, into the R&D, research, mirror universe, and it's this one here, mirror advancement. As you can see, I'm available to go to the next one. So basically it's just increasing the amounts that I need to mine and grind in terms of payouts. So I'm at 300%. The power levels don't change on some of these, but I'm glad the fact that most of these researches seem to all give just 14 seconds. So these are nice and easy to complete. So obviously topping out here 820%. That's expensive. I will say that one. But the jump from level 3 at 80%, as you can see here with the differences, 80% right here for level 3. That was giving me a nice little tiny amount, but then it's a massive jump to 300%. Hence the reason why the massive cost change. So if you are entering G5 for the first time, for the Lord and be God, do not do this piece of research yet. Not till you can mine more efficiently and a hell of a lot more. But again, we will touch on again later in the video. So let's get cracking on with it, shall we? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both grinding and mining out at the same time, but obviously we're going to start with the mining first. So here's a good chance to actually give a quick overview of the Nova. Now the Nova is a G5 uncommon miner. It's available from Shipyard 52 and it is going to cost you 150 blueprints to actually do. Now you can get this from all three factions. If we just scroll down to it, as you can see right here, it's basically just going to cost you your faction credits, 450,000 credits in total. You can split that to like 150,000 Fed, 150,000 Klingon, 150,000 Romanian if you so wished. So, and as you can see, I'm already 27 shards towards the second, and the reason why, well, I've got to go into the Alliance store, and if I jump into the, here we go, the G5 Epic, which is a regular chest that I pull when I've actually done it, as you can see, I've got a chance here of pulling Nova shards quite frequently as well. I think that's the most I can pull. Is there a full? Yeah, there is a full pull option just down here at the bottom. So yes, I'm working on it. As you can see, you can also work on the other miners as well. You got the Klingon Malga, the USS BT, and the Vrax of the Romulans. So yep, I'm obviously pulling those chests as well. As I don't think there's any in the, no, they're in. So I'm easily going to end up with a second eventually, and then eventually a third as well. So let's look at the Nova in a little bit more detail. Upgrading, as you can see, I've got all these available to upgrade. This is the particular one that you will want to be looking at, but for today's video we're not going to be touching these upgrades. But if we actually look all the way down here at the mining bonus, it's 2,750, so it's a nice little bonus. But when you compare that to the likes of a G4 miner, bearing in mind that all three of my G4 faction miners have got the exact same mining bonus when it comes to standard mining. As you can see, 2,200, so basically that's 550 less to actually of mining bonus. So realistically, it's not too much of a drop really in the G4 miners. Why I came out of that, I don't know, because I needed this one. But obviously, if I decide to upgrade the miner, it basically just increasing it to 3,000. Woo! So, but on the overview, as you can see, this is a level 1 tier 1. It's not brand new. It has actually been out and done some mining. So I've got no intentions of upgrading it yet, because if you look here, this is the problem I have. It's the G5 common crystal. It is a pissing nightmare. I've only just got enough to actually highlight everything. So the first thing that I will be doing on this is going to be the mining laser, getting it up faster. Now it does have a phaser as well. Its firing pattern is every single round, and it will fire 2 shots from every single round. So as you can see here, charge time, recharge, Critical damage is 10%, 150% with a chance at 10%. So it is a bloody strong miner when it comes up against G4 ships, but if a G4 ship is around about the same amount of power, then fair dues. Now, one thing I do want to point out about the Nova as well is the fact it's got a reasonable impulse speed of 186, and if we actually compare that with one of the G4s, the G4 miner, as you can see, it's only got 154, so it is actually faster, which is a good sign. I've done it again, come out of there. So what we're crewing with this one, well, like I said, I've got two different crews to work with. We're going to start with the first crew, which is going to be our top mining crew. So if we put 10 of 11 there, go to group, and then I need to find the Ferengi, and we'll quickly cover why we're going to be using these particular officers. So, oh, Quark's on the way mission. Please tell me I can bring him home. Yes, I can. Thank God for that. So, are we going to get a critical? Are we going to get a critical? Yes! Got another 24,000 Latinum. Just what we need on the show. So, officers that we're going to be picking then, is this going to be selection here? Obviously, once you've got this level 5, I would also recommend potentially, if we go for the below deckers and we scroll down, I would also bring in Dixon Hill as well with this one if you can. But he's out in a token system in G5 in a minute because of the bonus refinery, mining G5 materials to give me what I need. So, I mean, obviously his below deck ability at the minute is only 30%. That can go higher, but at the minute there's no active sourcing for Dixon Hill. So, but anyway. So, starting off with Fest then, as you can see, his captain's abilities increases mining speed by 55%. 55%. Oh, nice. So, I've not confirmed it, so these are base figures. And then, of course, you've got Quark as well, and he's going to give you an extra 120% as well on top of that. Now, if you also look at the synergy here, between Fest and Quark, you've got a 35% there. Now, what I'm going to say is right here is the reason we're using the Borg Tribble is 140% there. Now, this is far more effective than 35%. So if we normally go for the like that, that's only a 70% boost, and yes, he's got a mining speed here of 40%. So in natural fact, that's only 75% added on, whereas the Borg Tribble itself was far more effective at 140%. So I would definitely say stick with the Borg Tribble there, and this will be your active fastest mining crew you can have. Like I say, Dixon Hill on the bottom as well to help increase your minus speed. Now, when you do put this thing on a material node, I would highly recommend that you use one of the material officers from the NX-01 crew, the Enterprise NX-01 crew. So you got T'Pol, you got Shran, and you've got Hoshi Sato. So they will also give you that extra boost in relevance to the mining that you're actually doing as well. Also, going to quickly point out some skins for the Nova. So skins ability, and I'm sure we'll see that one come up where we could. Right, so we're not getting pictures, are we? Typical of that. Scopely don't want to actually give us pictures, so I'm hoping I can figure it out. Here we go. So is it under uncommon? No. Here we go. So we've got the first one here of the Astrum refit. This is the Romulan. As you can see, this one's going to give you a bonus to ore mining, and the other two skins as well that are available are pretty much the same, but one's for Federation, one's for Klingon. So this one here is your now let me see if I can pronounce this in Klingon correctly. Pajak or something. Pajak, I think. Again, is your crystal booster. I'm not quite sure how to source these at minute. I'm guessing moolah. Yeah, plenty of moolah. And then you've got the Ephemeris one, which is your gas miner as well. And obviously this plants the ship's name on the side of it. So that's nice of Scopely to actually do. So they're your three skins that you are going to get for the Nova as well. Just to help basically increase your mining speed. So ideally, if you really wanted to actually really go for it, then yeah, it's going to be expensive. Now, when it comes, so moving back onto the mirror universe now, grinding, plain and simple, I'm using max loot as always. So obviously, Enterprise E Picard mixed with Enterprise E Data, giving me that total 100% there. 5 of 11 is also going to give me that 80% there. I mean, to be honest, there's no point me putting another Enterprise E crew member on this slot, because it's only a 40% increase. Well, 5 of 11 is doing double that for me. And then, of course, you've got the Doctor with Renaissance Man at 20% as well. Now, the extra officers included is obviously going to be Hugh with the Mariner for winging it as well with 180% weapon damage. And obviously Nurse Chapel with the isolated damage, which is going to combine all this at the bottom here into extra damage as well. Not to mention, obviously, Picard and Data are also providing that extra isolated damage. So we've got a fair bit of isolated damage going on there. Now, don't worry if your officers are not to the same levels as mine. I mean, mine's not perfect by a long shot. But again, just to give you an idea of a crew loadout. Now, I do have the Enterprise out in space ready for use later in the video. So what we're going to do is going to bring both the Nova and the Newton to mirror Alpha Centauri. And then I'll show you the system if we actually get this thing moving. Bit of a lag here today. So I'm going to put the Newton in, and we're going to put the... Come on, select the Nova, thank you. And the Nova. So the system we're going to be aiming for today in this particular one is going to be the triangle area of here, and we're going to go to Yadlo. But as well, what we can do is we can have a look at the mining rates in here as well, because this is another Trellium A. We will also take a quick peek at the the Trellium D, where so you got Unroth here, which is a mining system, D-Dodex and Vendor. As you can see, these systems are highlighted. We'll show you the mining rates. I might be tempted to put the Nova in there a bit later on. But the first thing we need to do is get the Nova into Yadlo and start it mining. So now I have... So are we there yet? No, he's running a little bit behind the Newton, but that's absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an edit right here. I'm going to jump all the way to Mirror Ladio, cut back in just before we click over to that screen, just to show you the amount of time that we're going to have on the node in comparison. And then I'm going to bring the Newton in and again show you the amount of time that the Newton's got, and by then you'll see how much the Nova has actually mined by that time. So let's get cracking, shall we? Okay, so as you can see, we've got Yadlo up on screen ready to, well, we're ready to go there. But while the Nova is quickly traveling, as you can see, quickly show you the mining rate here is 125,638. So that's basically a standard node, and that will also be represented in the previous system of what is it, Yarkareth or something like that. So just bear that in mind. And the reason why we're going to Yadlo is the increased mining speed in the system. So here we go then. As you can see, I've got 18 minutes 52 seconds. Mining speed is 265,237, and here we go. So we're going to be starting to mine it there. Now, I know some of you would have probably commented, why not just send both ships at once? I didn't want to get confused of trying to actually do it, but as I launched the Nova, I remembered something else that I need to bring up as well. So let's get that shown just now before we send the Newton in, and this is it, is the District 56, and you're going to be looking primarily at this section here. Mirror Universe Duration, 20% increase for me at level 25. This will increase to 30% at level 30. So it's a nice little increase there. So that's going to give me an extra 4 minutes in the Mirror Universe. An extra 4 minutes, which is great, because that means I've got that little bit more travel time, and it's going to give me that little bit more of grinding time as well. So obviously the Nova is starting to mine it now. which is great. So now we bring in the grinding, which is the Newton. So we're going to go in and, oh, why have I just done that? I don't know. So we're going to send it in to the same system because they are level 45s in this particular system. And obviously the payouts in here are no different than what I would be doing anywhere else for killing these level 45s. Now, yes, you can argue that I could go grind in the likes of, say, here, Mirror Babel, but unfortunately my ships are not powerful enough to take these on. They're not powerful enough. And obviously I'd have to dump the like a max fortification on just to actually go to take in some travel time, because I guarantee as soon as those timers run out on those specialty ships, that's it, it's gone. Because obviously you've only got a limited number of tokens to enter the system, enter the mirror universe, and a limited number of tokens to travel around it, even pulling the refineries. So here we go. So we're going to send the Newton in, we're going to send it to the same system as the Nova and get it mining. So what we're going to do is quickly just show you is hopefully it'll stay up on screen. There you go, 24 minutes and click over. There we go, 24 minutes and we're off. So get into there. I'm going to start the grinding. Basically what I'm going to be doing is going as far down on my hull as I can go, or until the timer runs out. But again, it'll be case. I'll show you how long I'm going to have grinding in that system. I'm sure you clocked how much time we actually had with the Nova. I didn't clock it, so I'll make sure I put that in editing. So when I hear myself say that, I'll just quickly go back and put it in editing. So, but anyway, here comes the Newton. So let's get cracking and get to that system. Okay, so as you can see, the Newton's finally approaching the entry point to Yaddo. I've got 19 minutes left on the clock, so obviously it's just going to be under that is when I finally get into that system. So we could probably take it that the Nova had around about the same amount of time, because their impulse speeds are relatively the same. And what I'll do is I'll show you that as I'm heading after a target. So hello, Mr. Newton. Oh, there's a target there. So I'm going to get cracking on shooting these targets. If I can just quickly just call up this. And impulse speed, yeah, 158. And scroll across to the Newton. So the Nova itself, sorry, actually has a better impulse speed than the Newton. So, but here we go. So we're going to get cracking, grind out these. Like I say, go until my ship's basically destroyed or the timer runs out, whichever comes first. But having those extra 4 minutes is a godsend no matter which way you do this. So I shall see you at the other side. Alright guys, so we're back after the edit, and as you can see from the bar across the bottom, the Nova has actually left already. It's been a couple of extra minutes, but as you can see from my cargo as well, I'm up to 12,000 and I still got a bit of hull left. So there's no way in hell that I'm going to end up losing this hull in this amount of time. That's it. Time's up. Here we go. So now there was a point I missed in regards to the Nova, which we can actually bring up now. So if we look at the cargo bay for the Newton, I've ended up with 12.3 thousand raw Trellium A. And we also said in the last video that the best thing with grinding is all the extra chests you're going to get. Well, let's look at what extra we're going to get off this one. So now I know in fact it's going to be split into two. So we've got a 4,340 over here, and then the next chest, which will be the rest of the kills I did. So you can imagine how many kills I've actually done. A fair whack. 8,540 there as well. So we've got an 80. We know that's an 80. That's an 8. And that's a 12. So it's 12,880 in mega chests. That's not bad. That's pretty darn good. So in total then, that gives us, so let's have a look at this. It was 12.3, wasn't it? So that's going to give us 8. 8 and 3 is 11, carry the 1. 2 and 2 is 4, 5. 25,180. So 25,000 raw Trellium A. Okay, not particularly that bad. However, until you look at this. Now, this is the Ferengi crew, 82.8 thousand. 3 times as much. 3 times as much. So, now I said I was going to have 2 crews to look at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send these ships home. I'm not going to bother sending the Newton back out because it's counterproductive. So you can clearly see there, mining is definitely the way to go. And if we actually look at one of the kills on how much we actually got in loot, so we got 136, and bearing in mind that these pay out 25, so that's what, just over 5, that's about 5.5 times the extra loot I'm going at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Enterprise A, and I'm going to click on Mirror Babel, click on this. I've got plenty of these, so I'm not bothered about doing this. I'm actually thankful there's no upper limit on this. So here's the 51s. Okay, here's what they're paying out. It's 275, right? 275. So now you got to times that by 5.5. So what we're going to do, if we can get it to work this time, because we're suffering a tremendous amount of lag issues. Let's move you over here. Come on, load up. So 136 divided by 25 is 5.44. So there's our measurement. So 275 times 5.44 equals. So that's how many we're going to be able to pull by killing these 51s. Now I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to kill many of these. Like I said, I don't think I can keep. Last time I checked, I couldn't even kill one of these things. But to do what the Nova pulled, so 802800 divided by 1496. So that's the system gone down. So basically, I would have to kill 56 level 51s. Okay? Now, you know what? Just for argument's sake, right? Let's send it in. Let's send it in. And we'll put a Cerritos boost on it. So we need to be back in the home system for a minute. Oh, bloody hell. Right. No, don't want that. So there. There. So we'll put a Cerritos boost on it. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this to Mirror Babel. And you know what? Just for shits and giggles, let's see if we can actually kill one. Now, I did say as well earlier in the video that you'd probably be looking at the likes of max fortification to actually do this. But let's just put it in there and see what happens. But what we're going to do as well, while he's travelling... No, in fact, I'll tell you what, I ain't got time to babble over it because we've only got the 6 minutes to work with, and the next bit's going to take a little bit long. Well, probably around that about that amount of time to actually do it. But I want to be in Mirror Babel. Oh, that's all I got for killing all those 45s. Good job faction hunts on, isn't it? So let's jump to Mirror Babel and let's see what we're going to do. Okay, so we're approaching the tunnel to Mirror Babel. I've got about 3 minutes left on the Cerritos timer, so that's not very good to begin with. But like I said, I could bring the Cerritos in with me. However, that's using up extra vouchers to get into Mirror Universe, which could ideally be used on other days for more mining. But anyway, so we're going to use the 3.5 minutes here. We're going to target an explorer, and as you can see how strong this thing actually is. Now, it might be worth me potentially looking at changing my crews to pure isolated damage. Maybe the likes of Strange New Worlds, Kirk or Pellier would also be advantageous in this. But as of yet, I don't have them, and I'm shocked I've actually beaten it. And I've done actually not too bad a job on beating it. So, how much we ended up with? Look at that. Okay, so we were 2 out. We was 2 out. But that's still pretty darn good. And let's have a look at what we're going to get in the chest, because that's going to also be a great help. 160. Okay, 160 in that chest. And there's no way on God's green earth that I'm going to be able to kill loads of these, 55 of these. Now, obviously, if you look at the 160 and you sort of like can take that off the 55, you could probably knock yourself down to about 50 kills in total to do. Oh, there we go. I actually lost. I actually lost that one. So, basically, out of that system, all I got was the mega chest. That was it, because I've just lost all my loot. And if you want proof you lose your loot, well, here it comes. So, watch it. Oh, sorry. I was hiding it. I'm moving the bloody screen around now. Video capture, that's the one I want. So, let's just go out a second. And then go back into it. Watch the counter below me. Look at it drop. Look at it drop. So, sorry. There's the proof that you'll lose your loot. So that was a Defiant class starship I went up against. But anyway. So there's not much else I can do. So, what we're going to do then is move on to the second crew for the miner. So now as well, remember as well with Fess, he does have his reduced protected cargo. Still means nothing. Still means nothing. So do not worry about that in the slightest. So let's get the next crew that I want. But before we get onto that crew, this is going to give you an inkling of where I'm going to go. 186. Okay, impulse speed. So that should give you an inkling where I'm going straight out. Now, before you start throwing into the comments, well, you need Enterprise E Riker. I don't have him. I'm 83 out of 100. Unfortunately, my RNG is not with me to actually get me him right now. So I have to stick with the second best speed crew that I can muster. And that's if I can bloody get to those Ks. There we go. So there's the first one. Is Klar. Then we need Kuron. And then we need... Oh, bloody hell. Stuff scrolling. Here we go. Right. Oh, too far. And Strange New Worlds, Una. So, I'm going for impulse speed here. And when it clicks over, if we actually look at this, 258. Now, here's a little extra tip for you as well. If you're doing this joint incursions, you've got this little bundle here, which is going to give you these two. Now, I'm going to tell you straight away, this is a pile of crap, right? And before we get into it, right, let's go back to Yadlo, and let's select the system. Let's look into it. Just as a reminder of the mining speed of the Nova, 263,408. So it has dropped from the speed mining crew, right? It has dropped. Not by a lot. But yet you get this particular Hexacom, right? Done. So I've got that Hexacom running for the next hour. That's a 500% boost. So you'd expect to see a little bit of an increase. Guess what? There is none. My ship is still docked. It's still docked. There is no difference whatsoever. No difference whatsoever. However, the impulse speed one, I will tell you, will work because it works on the ships. Yes, it works on the ships. But for some reason, that mining speed boost will not work on raw Trellium A. I don't know if that was intended or not, but that's the way it is. So, let's jump back to my home system then, because I need to be in there. Primarily because there's one thing I need to actually do. And that is, I need to go attack him. And then when that's done, you can see the impulse speed is now 338. Now I can tell you that using the impulse Hexacom while doing this will send this up close to 400. But again, also goes on the way what level Chiron is and what level Una is as well. If we go for the overview, so my Una is giving me an impulse speed of 20. Chiron is giving me a 35% when I've attacked somebody. So until obviously I get back to my base, so I'm not going to put it in base. I'm going to send it straight back out to Yado. We're going to put it on there, and I'm going to show you the mining speed, how much we get mined with this. So the next cut will be just quickly how many minutes we've actually got in there, and I can tell you now the difference between them is between this crew and the other one is about a minute. So you've got about a minute extra in time, but your mining speed is slower. Okay, so I'll let you mull over it over the next couple of seconds it takes me to edit into the system. Okay, so quickly jumping back in here, I forgot to jump in first. So we're in Yadlo, we've got 20 minutes in here. So like I said, there was a minute difference between the two of them. So the last one only had 19 minutes. But here we go, he's off mining. Now there is one other thing I forgot to point out about the Nova. Is his ship's abilities, a universal mining laser. So basically this is only going to give you a set percentage every level against mining G5 materials. It is a G5 miner, so obviously that's what it's designed to do. But obviously I've got it mining Trellium or raw Trellium at the minute, and it's shooting up nicely. I've got a nice little cargo base, 16 million, so. But here we go. So it's 20 minutes of sat here waiting for this to mine now, so I shall see you on the other side. Okay, so you can clearly see from the screen that the mining is finished. We're no longer able to do it. I must remember to get my directions right. But what did it walk away with? $90.4 thousand. Now this is a speed crew, not a speed mining crew. It's a speed crew. That extra minute, despite having a slower mining speed, not by much, only 2,000, has resulted in basically an 8,000 extra in raw Trellium A. There's your shocker. that took me by surprise when I actually ran this test a few days ago. I was shocked. The fact that an impulse speed crew did better. So there it is. Now I'm aware the video's gone on a lot longer than I anticipated. That's through me gas bagging too much at the beginning. But let's just have a quick look at the mining rates for the Trellium D as well, because I'm sure you're going to be interested in them for a flat Nova. Yes, a flat Nova. So in this system then, obviously, what's this one? Mirror Unroth, was it? Come on. Yeah, Mirror Unroth then. So the raw Trellium D is going to be mining at 41,500 per hour. So yeah, okay, that's not particularly too bad. But then obviously D-Deridex will be operated at the same as Unroth. So just watch out for that one. So your next one is obviously going to be Vendor. If we go into here and look at the mining rate in here, because this was the system I last mined Trellium D in. So going on this one, then it's 110 or 100, just under 111,000. So yeah, this is still going to be worth doing over grinding. Now, again, pointing out the very obvious with this thing, this is a flat level 1 tier 1. It's absolutely naked. Alright. But what we'll do is we'll put that mining beam in, and then we'll see the mining rate of the Nova on that Trellium A ore. And I guarantee it's going to boost it, but it's not going to boost it by much. In fact, it might just restore that extra 2,000. So you could potentially look, I would estimate, around about 92 to 95,000 raw Trellium A in a single mining run. Now that will be enough to do a single chest in the refinery. It won't be enough to do the double chest, but again, it's something you could just do over several days and eventually build it all up as well. But again, if you've been keeping your building up to date as well, it's not going to be too much of a hassle. So let's get the mining laser in. There we go. As you can see, everything else is gone. So this is going to take me an extremely long time to upgrade unless I actually get some latinum. So down to Mirror Yado then for the final time. So click in here, and what is the mining speed that we're going to have on this one? It's going to be... Okay, so no, so it's drastically shot it up by around about 24,000. So yeah, I think you might be knocking on the door then of 100k per run. 100k per run. That's just an estimate. But given the fact that we walked away from with a naked Nova, yeah. Now my Alliance Admiral, I will say that I will add this in here. He did tell me he has a tier 3 Nova, and he's mining an extortionate amount of raw Trellium A. So again, it will come down to the fact that you need a decent tier Nova. But this shows you what a naked tier 1 level 1 Nova can do. What it can actually do on this Trellium ore. It is better than the G4 miners. There's no quips and qualms about it. So, but anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope this has been an instructive video. Next up, we've got Galaxy Quest coming into the game. Now, I've not done a video on this one because, yeah, I'm not convinced about what really should they be bringing in Galaxy Quest into the game. I really don't know, but we'll have to see how it integrates. And the new PvE mechanic that's bringing in with it, yeah, okay, fine. You got a new mechanic coming in, which is more preferable during incursions, but we'll have to wait and see how it works out. But anyway, So as you can see, I've put the little note up there if you wish to donate to the channel, please, PayPal or Cash App. Obviously, channel memberships are available as well if you wish to become a channel member. It does say stream because that was off the last live stream, but the links will be available in the description. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope this has showed you that the difference in G4 and G5 is literally mining and grinding. G4 for grinding, G5 for mining. Hey, I'm only Ops 52. What's it going to be like when I've got a bigger tiered Nova? But we'll only see when that happens. Thank you for joining me. I'm Admiral Pegasus. Stay safe, live long and prosper, and I shall catch you on the next video. Goodbye.